"So you're really coming to our wedding?" Lily, my brother's fiancée, said. "I'll be embarrassed to introduce you as my sister-in-law to our relatives. My name is Katie, I'm 37 years old and single. I dropped out of school, but I'm not ashamed of it or my single status. In fact, I'm proud because it allowed me to live a happy life with my family. I come from a poor family, my father wasn't around, and my mother had me and my younger brother, Georgie, who's 2 years younger than me. She worked hard to support us, but we often struggled to make ends meet. Sometimes, a relative would try to give my mom money, but she always refused, saying, 'Let us only rely on you when we're really desperate. We're okay for now.' When I asked her why, she said, 'If I take the money, his wife might get upset.' I secretly wished she had accepted the help. Georgie was a very smart kid and always top of his class in school. As his proud older sister, I thought he was going to do amazing things in life. His teacher even recommended him for a top school, but we didn't have the money for it. He ended up going to a less prestigious school, and I felt awful about it. To make up for it, I dropped out of school and started working right away. The truth is, I didn't like studying, so I saw this as a chance to start working. However, most jobs for people who dropped out didn't pay well. I ended up working in a small office, but when the office owner retired, he recommended me to a better company, and I got a good paying job there. I worked hard and even became a manager at 35, earning a salary similar to other college graduates. However, my brother's fiancée, Lily, doesn't seem to like that I'm a dropout, especially since Georgie graduated from a prestigious university and is now doing well as a salesman at ABC Trading. Lily seems to think I'm a failure because I didn't go to college. I was surprised when Georgie told me that Lily had asked, "Is your sister some kind of problem person?" Lily's dad is a director at ABC Trading, and she's very attractive, but I'm not sure she's a nice person. Once, she came to our house, but when she saw our modest apartment, she refused to come inside and even complained, even though I was dressed up nicely. Lily seemed embarrassed by my family and didn't like that Georgie, her boyfriend, was commuting from our modest place. She used her father's position as the head of a department to get Georgie moved into company housing, even though he wasn't supposed to be eligible. She made up an excuse, saying they would live there once they were married. The catch was that only approved people could visit the company housing, and even close family members had to apply each time. I joked, saying, "I guess I can't visit often, I just wanted to peek at your happy new life." But Lily's mother responded coldly, saying, "That's exactly why we decided to have them live in a family house." Lily was rude to my mother when she visited. She whispered to Georgie, out of earshot, "Your mother-in-law is poor. Georgie will have to keep paying his student loans even after marriage. It's natural for parents to pay for tuition, right?" And she gave my mom a mean look. The truth is, my mom and I saved money for Georgie's college fund, but he insisted on paying for it himself. Lily and her mom have tough personalities, but Georgie knows this, even though they act like they're important, like celebrities. I also wanted my mom to move into the company housing, but Lily said the husband's siblings can't live there, so I'd be left alone, which she found pitiful. When I told her that I graduated from college on a scholarship, Lily's mom pretended to be impressed, saying, "You must want to help your mom as soon as possible. You're such a thoughtful and wonderful person." Lily's family talked about how kind they were, and at first, I thought there was no need to say anything bad about them, but that was a mistake. Lily and her family started to exclude both me and my mom, especially me. Half a month before the wedding, Lily suddenly contacted me, asking if I was going to attend. Georgie is my only brother, but the wedding venue was very fancy, with around 150 guests expected. They even invited the president and managing director of ABC Corporation and other high-level clients, since Georgie's marriage to the daughter of the head of the department was a big deal. I thought they might not have enough room for me at the wedding, but then Lily said, "I think the guests will feel uncomfortable if there's a poor-looking sister-in-law." I was shocked. "What do you mean by poor-looking?" I asked. "I plan to wear a proper formal outfit for the wedding." Lily responded, "Your proper outfit is probably a cheap suit from a catalog, right? It's embarrassing to be surrounded by people wearing high-end brand clothes." She had clearly judged me as being at the bottom of the social ladder. I was fed up with her attitude that poor people shouldn't be invited to her wedding, so I asked, "What about my mother? She doesn't have high-end brand clothes either." Lily replied, "I know, but I can't not invite Georgie, who's doing well at the company. I just don't want to be embarrassed by you or your relatives, so we'll get your mom some nice clothes." I was really upset by how she was speaking, But I tried to tell myself it was just her way of being considerate so my mom wouldn't be embarrassed at Georgie's big event. But then Lily said something that took me by surprise. Of course, you'll have to buy that dress. It's an Oscar de la Renta evening dress, so you'll need to prepare about $10,000. I was stunned. Wait, I can't afford that. Lily coldly replied, if you can't pay, then do you plan to stand next to my parents in a cheap dress? I couldn't believe it and asked what Georgie thought. Lily said, I haven't told Georgie yet. Of course, he thinks you and your mother will come, but it'll hurt his future if his mother is unmarried and his sister is a dropout. I don't think being a single mother or a dropout affects someone's career anymore. I didn't want to let Lily's prejudice get to me, so I yelled, this is my only brother's wedding, so both my mom and I will attend. We'll pay for our clothes, but if you can't stand us, just don't invite us. I told my mom everything and asked for her advice. She seemed sad for a moment but then smiled and said, don't worry, Katie, I promised you I'll make Georgie happy, just leave it to me. She then made a phone call, and I had no idea what she was planning. On the wedding day, the ceremony was held in the chapel. I had been worried about whether or not to tell Georgie what Lily had said, but since I'd left everything to my mom, I decided to stay quiet. However, Georgie looked tense. Was it just nerves, or had my mom said something to him? After the ceremony, I was shocked when I looked at the seating chart for the reception. My mother's name was the only one in the family section, and I couldn't find my name anywhere. I thought, wait, there's no seat for me? They were really trying to exclude me from the reception. Just then, Lily's parents showed up and gave me a look of disdain. They said, I can't believe you didn't understand when Lily told you not to come to the reception. We let you attend the ceremony because we had no choice, but we don't want you spreading your poverty around at the reception. Go home, drop out sister. I thought, like mother, like daughter, fine, I'll go home. As I turned away from Lily's parents, who were smirking, I saw the CEO of Nico Mimi Corporation, a listed company and business partner of Lily's father, standing with Georgie. Mr. Ashcroft smiled at me and said, Katie, you're in the way, sorry about that. Lily's parents replied, we were just getting rid of an unwanted guest. Then Mr. Ashcroft spoke up, if you insist on kicking Katie out, then I, as her father, will also leave the reception. I was shocked. Father? Wait, what do you mean? I asked. Lily's parents stared at him, confused, not believing what he was saying. Mr. Ashcroft repeated, as I said, Katie is my daughter. It turned out that Mr. Ashcroft and my mother had been in a relationship when they were in their 20s. At the time, Mr. Ashcroft was an executive and on his way to becoming the CEO, while my mother had lost both of her parents in an accident and was left alone. Their relationship wasn't accepted from the start. When my mother got pregnant with me, Nico Mimi Corporation, Mr. Ashcroft's father's company, was about to go bankrupt. Everyone opposed their marriage, saying it wouldn't help the company, so my mother decided to put their marriage on hold until the company was in a better situation. She raised me as a single mother, even though it was hard because of the stigma. By the time my mother was pregnant with Georgie, the company still hadn't improved much. Then the daughter of a CEO from another company offered to help, and she proposed marriage to Mr. Ashcroft. My mother, seeing how important it was for him to revive the company, decided to step aside. She told him, I'll raise our 2 kids properly, you don't have to acknowledge them, just be happy with that woman and revive your company. After marrying the CEO's daughter, Mr. Ashcroft not only revived the company but grew it so much that it became a listed company. However, they didn't have any children and divorced a year ago because of his wife's infidelity. After the divorce, Mr. Ashcroft reached out to my mother and proposed that they reunite. A few days before Georgie's wedding, I met with Mr. Ashcroft, the company president, and my father. I suddenly recognized the man standing with Georgie. He was the same man who had visited our apartment a few times during my childhood, trying to give my mother money. He turned out to be Mr. Ashcroft, the president of Nico Mimi Corporation. When I stared at him, he smiled and said, You've really been through a lot. I've heard about the wedding from your mother. Mr. Ashcroft, who was now Georgie's business partner, knew how capable Georgie was. He wanted Georgie to take over Nico Mimi Corporation, but he was concerned if Georgie couldn't see the true nature of malicious people, like Lily and her family, and didn't respect his mother and sister. Mr. Ashcroft couldn't trust him with the company, so he was using the wedding to test Georgie's character. The day before the wedding, Mr. Ashcroft and my mother told Georgie the truth about their past relationship and how Lily's family was trying to exclude us. Shocked by all the revelations, Georgie, who had trusted Lily and her parents, felt uneasy about the wedding. That's why he looked so stiff during the ceremony. When Georgie saw that my name wasn't on the seating chart and saw Lily's parents trying to kick me out of the reception, he knew what my mother and I had told him was true. He took Lily to the reception desk and declared, "Lily, Mr. and Mrs. Lily, I'm annulling this marriage. I have no intention of becoming a part of a family that disrespects my precious mother and sister." Lily and her parents were shocked. Lily, not understanding the situation, said, "Georgie, are you choosing that low-life mother and daughter over me? You should know your place." Lily's parents turned pale and tried to stop her, but it was too late. I explained everything to Lily, and she collapsed, crying. Mr. Ashcroft added, "I guess we'll have to reconsider our business with your company," which caused Lily's parents to burst into tears and beg for forgiveness. Everyone at the reception witnessed this, and the whole event was cancelled. Georgie completely cut ties with Lily and refused to submit the marriage registration. Afterward, I received a furious phone call from Lily, screaming, "You're the reason." Lily called me later and said, "I couldn't marry Georgie. I'll be billing you for compensation and the cancellation fee for the venue." I responded, "Oh really? Then I'll sue you for defamation. Everyone at the reception heard you and your parents using abusive language." She went silent. I then added, "I should probably tell your father that I was threatened by Lily. If I do, Nico Mimi Corporation might completely stop doing business with ABC Trading. Won't your dad lose his job then?" Lily started crying, but I just hung up the phone. Serves her right. Georgie, who had cancelled his marriage to Lily, later joined Nico Mimi Corporation and worked hard to become his father's right-hand man. Now, my parents are getting married soon. My mother, who is shy about having a wedding at her age, looks genuinely happy when we pick out her wedding dress together. I've always been focused on my work, but now I'm starting to think that maybe one day, I'd like to wear my mother's wedding dress.